I didn't see any news, but Connor claims he's got 2 news stories, so I'm gonna
I've got
like
2, and then do you want an anecdote from Tynion's paid-for newsletter where he's spilling all the secrets on Batman?
You paid for that?
I don't know.
I'm not paying. I paid for mainly. I want his new comics, but he's also including other stuff in there.
Yeah, I don't know if I want secrets from all the Batman stuff coming up. Maybe just the 2 news
I
stories.
do.
No, it's nothing coming up. It's about like some of the 5G dirt and stuff like that, and what ended up happening. And he it was kind of just an introductory one for now, but he's promising to delve into some details that I can't imagine DC wants him to share. But
all right, well, what's the news?
So the first one, Jinx World. Obviously, they made a big deal when Bendis brought that over to DC.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's leaving. That's going to Dark Horse now.
Which
that whole
Dark Horse?
Yeah.
No. Never mind. I was thinking of who's Bendis show because
Oh.
he's no longer relevant to me.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a sign that Bendis may be on his way out from DC.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was saying his exclusive contract ended sometime last year. Which, okay, but I'm surprised at this because this does seem to be like maybe the relationship isn't as great as we'd have thought.
I mean, I don't know if
sounds like a real Adam Cole scenario. Is
it they're on a handshake deal just now?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's even more wrestling.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I would like maybe he'll keep writing some mainline DC books. He's happy to just do his creator own stuff elsewhere, and that's fine. But Jinx World was announced back when he joined with DC, and I feel like we saw very little actually come out of it.
I think we had one book with Malieve that I remember existing, and obviously reprints of older stuff.
Yeah, it was like maybe
there
2
was
minis.
2 new ones.
Yeah.
There was Cover, and there was another one, and then that was it.
But those were both way back, right? Those were both in that first 6 months, a year, whatever it was. So, yeah, it does feel like maybe at least that side of this relationship's not worked out. And to be fair, I don't think his books sold that well.
It was weird because it was like right after they shut down Vertigo, they were kind of stumbling trying to create Black Label at the point. They were kind of toying with Young Animal. Pop-up imprints were kind of.
I was more meaning his mainline DC books, but I mean, yeah, I'm sure his Jinx World books didn't sell that well either. But I'm thinking of his Superman and his action and stuff. Yes, Matt.
Yeah, it was Pearl. Sorry,
Pearl. Yeah, I remember Pearl.
Pearl and that was him and. Oh, damn it! It just disappeared. Stupid thing. Him and Gatos, and then there was reprints of Scarlet, which I remember people being. I think that was the Malieve one. And Cover. Hold on. It was Bendis and Mac. Yeah. So that was really it. So I guess Dark Horse just gets the reprint value now.
Yeah, they get to reprint all those, and they're publishing new books. He announced a new one with Stephen Byrne because, of course, he steals all the good artists that I like.
Mm-hmm. Notice he didn't steal Rosmo.
No.
It's all right, Cars. Get more Rosmo to look forward to in the future. What's the next news story?
This one I think is incredibly interesting, and I don't know how much you two will find interesting, but I think it's worth talking about.
Depends how quickly we divert into wrestling talk. Let's see.
DC are planning on publishing webcomics. Quite, they're like with a Webtoon, like one of the big places for webcomics. They're going to actually be publishing themselves on there, using all DC characters, presumably for free, which is kind of how webcomics usually work.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is. I personally think it's a really good move in terms of trying to get a new audience again. Has a huge readership built in, especially younger audiences. Again, this feels like another step after their stuff reaching out for the young adults and kids stuff.
Kids. Yeah, it feels like these are like comic strips, right? Like putting your stuff out there in smaller chunks. So, cool, I guess. I mean, I'll wait for them to be reprinted in one place and then just go through it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll probably be some interesting stories. I doubt many of them will be stories for us because we're not really the target audience for that. But again, just interesting to see DC actively trying to diversify where it's publishing and what it's publishing, and trying to grow its readership base beyond just us, essentially.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the juicy secrets from the newsletter?
I mean, so far it's not amazingly juicy, but like because it's just the teasers. But it was stuff like how. No. So this is the
over promise, under deliver, Connor.
There will be more, I'm sure. I'll update you. But one tip that we've got so far is when 5G was coming up, he was told, you are the writer on Batman till issue 100, whatever. That's all we need. And he didn't know much more than we did at that point in terms of what the concrete plans were. He knew that, they're replacing Bruce with someone else as Batman. But they weren't telling him more than that because he wasn't going to be on the book. So he was looking at it as, well, this is potentially, theoretically, the last Batman story of Bruce Wayne in continuity. And, what do I want that to be, to lead into towards a Dark Knight Returns style future.
He made him broke.
Well, yeah, essentially. But he was talking about how he was pitching all these stories, and they kept going, nope, can't use that character. Nope, can't use that character. And it was getting to a point where they would approve something. He'd write an entire issue, send it off to the artist. Pages would be drawn, and they'd be go, nope, can't use that character anymore, because the plans for 5G were just shifting that much all over the place because it was just a mess. And that is the reason he ended up just creating all his own characters. Clown Hunter, Miracle Molly, Punchline, all of them just purely exist because editorial just kept screwing him around that much. They was just like, screw it, I'll create my own characters, and then it doesn't matter because I can do what I want with them.
What's so funny about that is that once we get past that issue 100, the book started to include so many other Bat Family characters that presumably were locked away before. So it's just kind of funny in hindsight that that's how it worked out. I guess he's okay just revealing all this shit, or is going to reveal more of it because he's going to be away from DC by and large.
Right.
Yeah, and I have speculated as well that maybe the current staff at DC, the higher ups, maybe don't mind some of this information being out there because it makes Didio and co, who were there before, look bad. So, and they were like, see, we're doing so much better now. We made the right choice coming in here and cleaning up.
And it seems like Future State was a cumulative effort to try to put a Band-Aid on the 5G stuff, right? Like,
definitely feels like it was a bit of a stopgap in that we need something while we can kind of reevaluate our long-term plans and throw 5G out.
If all the writers were expecting to be finishing their runs or finishing stuff because 5G was about to start, and then all of a sudden it wasn't, it makes sense. Like, hey, okay, we've got a bunch of little things we can do if it's a 2-month thing, whilst everyone actually starts to work on their next issues that aren't going to be out for another couple of months now. Like, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And it makes it like, for as much as like it was real hit or miss, when you have this kind of backstory, like Tynion saying like, oh, you can't do that because of this, and you can't do that because of this. It's like, oh, well, looks like we came out the other side pretty okay. So, yeah, that's crazy.
It is. No, it's interesting. The way his paid for newsletter is like $7 a month. It's gonna be like 3 a week. One of which I think every Wednesday is going to be the Batman newsletter for the foreseeable future, and then one of them will be, here's the new comics that he's going to be publishing. Some of the Batman stuff is probably going to be pretty interesting. This was already a lot of the first one was more just about how he approached Batman, his start getting into it. He stood a bit more frankly about getting started through Snyder and what actually happened. Interesting stuff, but the continuity side of it is all coming up. He's promising, so I'm sure there will be interesting stuff that will probably be on certain news sites, or news sites.